Okay, so got the stream up here. Just gonna make sure it's hot and ready here. There we go. Okay, good to go. Okay, so I've got object D up on the screen here, and so what you're going to do is each one of these major squares here, that is 1 centimeter. So now we can look at, and most of these things are, if not all of them, are built on the same base size. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 40 millimeters here by 100 on the other side. So yeah, when we're laying these things out here, that's the way we're gonna build them. So you might be able to get a few of these onto, might be able to get 2 of them per sheet. But I am going to draw this right in the middle here because of course I have to, so that you guys will see it. Okay, so about there. All right. So first of all, here we got to do our 40 by 100 base, and then we can start building all these other pieces in. Now, for figuring out where, this part starts, obviously you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, draw a line across, and then where that intersects with 1, 2, 3, 4 over, you can see that this goes up directly to that spot. So, you'll just be able to get that drawn. Now, as to where this face ends, if you were to project this across, you can kind of see where it's going to line up here. Let me get my set square on this bad boy. So here, when you're kind of figuring out where the bottom of this face ends, that's where you've kind of got to be creative. So here it looks like it's going to be 20, 30, 45, say 48 from here to the corner. Now, I don't care if it's 48 or 47, whatever you guys figure is going to work, or just sort of halfway between those two marks at 47.5. It's all good. So using that line, then you're going to be able to construct these diagonals to build up the rest, because these, of course, aren't on any of the, the proper angles for 60 degrees. So you can see this doesn't work with the 60-degree part of your set squares at all. So we've got to construct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 isometric circles. So this one is going to be gloriously difficult. So we've got to build this 100 by 40 box. Now I just realized, oh jeez. Okay, you guys got to see this. I'm just getting ready to sit down here, and who decides to get on my seat here? Like right behind me, while I'm trying to work, and there's my cat. So I don't know what she's on, but we're trying to work here, cat. You feeling comfy, are we? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna give her my chair, and I'm gonna grab another chair from behind here. I'm glad I could warm up a seat for you. Okay. So we construct the base of this thing. Okay, so 140 in the other direction. So here comes the 100. And I'm going to try and get this thing going pretty quick here, because you guys know the drill now, having worked on those other ones this morning. Now, all of these lines that I'm drawing right now are construction lines because the front of this thing is going to be a curve. And I just want to get this curve happening as soon as we can. So I'm not going to even bother drawing the back end of this cube because you guys can easily figure that one out. Okay, so for the curve at the front here, I need my 40 by 40 box so I can build the curve. Okay, so there's the 40 by 40 box. Oh, I just realized I am a touch low in my paper positioning. Okay, maybe I can just slide my board up like this. Ah, yes, very good. Okay, good. Just the mechanism underneath the wood thing that I built. I just need to make sure I got enough clearance when I move it into this position, but it looks like we're good. Okay, so now I'm going to build the isometric circles here for the bottom. So this is the top isoplane we're using to build this base. And in terms of the arcs needed, we only need this curve here and this curve here. So when you look at the top isometric 3D circle, we really only need the construction lines from this corner to the halfway point and from this corner to the halfway point. So I will construct those two. And here's the construction lines that we need for this one. And this is gonna be on these funny angles, so you're not gonna get to use your ruler, like the parallel ruler for this stuff. So there's the one curve for doing this corner. And then from here, we'll draw this curve on the other side. So we've got all we need for this base point. And I have drawn these a little bit darker than you normally would. I wouldn't draw them this dark. It's just so you guys can, it's more making it more clear which construction lines are required for this particular curve. Now, some of you might have just sort of figured out organically by this point, the way to make a compass really shine is to drag it along and make sure you're putting an appropriate amount of force down into the metal tip and then dragging the compass. And you can see I'm kind of moving the top of the compass around in an arc as well. So there's that curve. And now we've got to do this other curve. Out to there and then around. Now, I didn't quite draw that far enough. Okay, so that is the two curves set up for the bottom of this thing. Now I've got to come up 1 centimeter and draw that box again up 10 mils. So There we go. So now we'll draw the rectangle for the top of this thing so we can start constructing the isometric circle box. And I need to come up 10 mils on this other corner as well. Okay, so just to make things a little clearer, I am going to erase my construction lines. Probably should have done that before I started drawing my rectangle, but so that's good enough. Same thing, just need to draw the what I need to make the construction lines, or my my midpoint lines here for the drawing my construction lines to draw the isometric curves. Okay, so I got everything I need to draw these extra curves. Now keep in mind that here and upwards, I actually shouldn't have drawn my base curve that's that large because part of it is going to be obscured. I didn't think about that at the time. So now I get to erase part of this thing that goes beyond the tangent. So there's the tangent that I've drawn here. Actually should have been a little bit farther out. And so now I get to erase this part of the curve that is going to be obscured as this this line here rises up and it's going to catch our isometric curve that we're going to draw on the top of the plane, which is going to be this curve here. We've drawn the one down below, but we've drawn too much of it. So okay, so again, getting the compass very much exactly at that intersection point. Uh-oh. The instructor made a boo-boo. I don't think I quite got my compass point in the right place. And I committed, I pushed in pretty hard, so I might not be able to. There we go. So that's better. So again, I just didn't get my compass right at the exact intersection here. I'm kind of sitting behind what I'm drafting here, and I'm not looking kind of right at it. So the nice thing is that with this curve, this vertical plane is allows us to be, it's a perfect half circle there. So we're at the 180 degree mark. So this is like one 20 by 20 square where we get to build this curve. So it's a full 180 degrees of curvature. So when you draw this arc, you get to come all the way around to the midpoint there. And then from here, the vertical goes up. Like that. But obviously not too terribly far. Now, this was computer generated. So this is an actual true isometric representation of what's going on, whereas we are building our hacked manual drafting circles. So the curves are going to look a wee bit different and the proportions are going to look a little bit different as well. So don't let that put you off. Okay, so there's the two curves at the bottom. And now what we've got to construct, and this is the one I really wanted to get at and demonstrate for you folks, is how to do, we've got one more circle to do on the inside. So it shares the same center point, but what we've got to do is we've got to draw the box for this thing in the middle. So this piece around the outside here is 10 millimeters wide. That's this kind of strip here, this J-shaped strip. So that's here. So we've got to draw that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start erasing some of these other construction lines, which are just going to confuse me. And just so I can have a little more clear area inside. I've still got all of my compass points. So if I was going to come back and do my final drafted lines afterwards, I'd be able to see them. But now what we're going to draw is we're going to draw the isometric box for doing the 20 by 20, the 20 millimeter diameter circle that's in the inside. And this one's really going to require some precision because it's a smaller diameter. So fine motor skills for the win here. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing the center of the box. So there's coming in 20 here, right? So that's from the corner coming in 20. And then I've got to find my 20 point in the middle, and that's going to be the center of my 20 by 20 box, which we will construct now. There we go. So there's that one. That's the center of this thing. So I'm just going to put, actually, you know what? I'm going to measure 10 in each direction. I'm going to get this box started right away. Okay, get the construction lines. I'm not going to worry about the center lines so much. It's just the outside edges of the box that I really need. All right, and then I'm going to measure 10 and 10 each way from where the box started. So that's my center point. So here, 10 and 10 each way along the line. I've already got the one line here. There's the other end. Okay, so now I'm ready to construct all of the construction lines. So all I need, it's the same as the other one, we're only building the curve in the same two quadrants. So I just got to get my bisector mark here for the construction line. This thing's 20 by 20. So it's 10 in from each side, like I've done here, and it's 10 in from the side, from the end here. So it's 10 from this thing in there. So that's 10, that's 10, that's 10. So from that perspective, it's actually pretty straightforward to construct. So now this is again the top isoplane, and this is again where you're really going to need to be anal retentive about getting all of these intersections sorted for this next curve, because this one really requires the precision for the curves to line up. So there's that construction, and then this one here. I never had to wear glasses until I started using AutoCAD. So AutoCAD gave me astigmatism bad enough that I required a prescription for it, which is pretty bizarre. And there's a lot of people said, yeah, you know what? You're focusing on a screen for hours at a time. And of course, you're trying to, um, you're looking because it's a precision thing that you're doing. So you're really focusing. And yeah, and then you guys heard the 20-20-20 rule? It's every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look at something more than 20 feet away, just so you can change where your eyes are focusing. There's an app that you can get for your computer called Pomodoro, which is just a little timer app in it, and you can set it to do that because often we'll forget. So when I got a big design project or something like that I'm doing for somebody, I'll set that thing on there, and every once in a while it'll just ding me so I look away. Problem with my astigmatism glasses is that it does not help me focus on the close-up stuff like I'm doing right now. So I just realized I had my astigmatism glasses on, and they're actually making it hard for me to focus on the little bits here. So rip. Okay. That's not a thing for me. I don't know. It hasn't been, blue light hasn't been sort of one of the, not for me. I think for others, that might be a connection. And they're saying that that blue light is part of what's making it harder for people who've sort of grown up on social media to get a decent sleep, um, which I get. Uh, but yeah, I've got some friends who are just like, they're getting so, uh, not sort of distressed, but social media can bring the opposite of peace to our well-being. So a lot of these guys bailing on Facebook and just said, it's just a cluster cuss out there. I'm going to get off Facebook. So, and Twitter too. Twitter's a dumpster fire. Instagram? Ah, yeah, yeah. No, I find Instagram, because it's more pictorial in nature, is usually a little bit more chill. Uh, yeah, it's brutal. Yeah. No, Instagram's where all the sort of the outdoor mountain biking stuff, and that's way more fun for me than. Now, somewhere I got something wrong with my, and again, this is just a precision issue, and you can see how my curve here just does not want to jive up on these lines. So I'm going to take another stab at this. Sorry, my compass is right in the way of the video feed there. I was watching a couple of video feeds, and I was like, when I had my head right underneath it, and so like the camera was focusing on my hair pores, I was like, oh, hey, that's some great video footage right there. No, still. Now, possibly what it is, I don't have my the dimensions of my box correct. I'll just have to check my dimensions here. And this might be an overhead versus sitting behind the camera problem. Oh, what the heck? Like even just a difference of half a millimeter can completely screw over your precision here. And I can see that's exactly what I did. Because my camera's right in the way of where I need to have my head to put everything together, my construction line here is in the wrong spot. So that would mean that I drew this curve at the wrong radius. It just wasn't quite far enough. So my small arc was okay. It's my large arc that is wrong. So you can kind of see here, I'll pull the camera up a little bit so you guys can watch the arc that top of my compass goes through. Manual zoom out. Okay, so as I put the compass in, the top of the compass follows an arc through the air as well. So it's on a smaller curve like this, it's a little less obvious, but once you start drawing larger radii, you'll see more of the sort of the flow that the top of the compass goes through. And of course, then you lose purchase because you didn't push hard enough on the point as you're trying to drag your compass through. Okay, so just going to carefully delete that inner circle that's in the wrong spot. So that's pretty good. Now, so my problem initially was that I did not have this part of the box drawn properly. I was like half a millimeter too short the first time I drew the arc. So my construction lines here were just in the wrong place completely. And again, is that just a problem because the camera is in the way of my view? So if you compare what we've drawn with what the 3D model looks like, it's close. It's pretty close. Yeah, that's the three curves. So the bigger one at the bottom and at the top, and then the smaller one in the middle with various construction line boxes used to fabricate this. So, well, it's 10 at the bottom here, and then for the overall height, it's 10, 20, 30, 40. And then I think one of the other objects has the total height of this. Let me go back and just look at the, I believe they are, yes. I'll just check. And B as well. So B is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So it's 80 tall. And then the other ones just have pieces cut out. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So we've got 40 here, and that looks right. And then 40 there. So that's basically how that goes. Yeah, this thing it's a 10 at the bottom here. And then we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So that leaves this thing at 20. No, that'd be 20 radius. That's right, 20 radius. So that's a diameter of 40. So this is, oh, I'm going to do a liter. Oh, you should be. These things aren't very big. So here, if we're 80 tall, and I started towards the bottom of my sheet. Oh, I see. Well, you could do them, I'd recommend that you do them side by side rather than, no, I'm good. So I will point to 80 on my scale. So that's kind of where the top, and I'm going to zoom way out here so you guys can see the whole sheet. So there's the whole sheet there. So you can kind of get a sense of how big this thing's going to be when it's put on the sheet. So there you have it. That is how it's going to work. Okay, so this assignment with these four objects is due at the end of today and can be submitted later due to whatever extenuating circumstances you have. Extenuating including your propensity to procrastinate. So it's also, I'm pretty chill with things that are happening at the beginning of the term here because monsoon season is coming, and for everybody's mental health, I'd rather you got outside and enjoy the outdoors as much as you can before the rains come and we're faced with life in Gore-Tex and getting damp a lot. So tomorrow morning we shall pick it up with talking about math as it relates to architecture and sizes of lumber and all that good stuff and how you convert to metric back and forth. So that will be tomorrow's gift to us all. So I'll leave you guys with that. So I'll end the stream here and I'll put the link to this up in the ADT1 chat.